Good morning. It is currently 4:50 a.m. on Friday, March 21st. Today we're going on a trip that I wanted to do pretty much since I knew it existed. We're going to be doing the Zion Narrows from top to bottom and backpacking halfway through. We've got about a 4-hour drive down to the visitor center where I'm going to meet my dad. We're going to head up to the trailhead. Got about a 12-mile day today and then another 4 or 5 miles tomorrow. Should be a pretty good day. I'm pretty excited. Okay, well, change of plans. Apparently the road is too snowy for them to hand us our permit to go do the full Narrows from top to bottom. So our backup plan, we're gonna do as much of the Narrows as we can from bottom up until it eventually will get too deep and we'll have to turn around. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna back out, head to another part of the park and backpack in there. So still should be a good time. Yeah, gotta love it. About 1.5 miles in here. I don't know if you can hear me over the water. It's still super crowded, but this is easily one of the coolest hikes I've ever done. Look at the cliffs behind me. That is pretty stinking awesome. Pretty unique trail, hiking right through the water like this too. Oh, look at that backdrop. That is unbelievable. That cliff is insane. It's just so crazy to me that this like tiny little river just carved out this entire canyon. Man, that is incredible. This is so sweet. I mean, this canyon looks really cool, like being down in it, looking up, but I'd be really interested to see what this looks like being up top, looking down into this. This would literally just be like a crater. Out our next big crowd ahead of us. You know, I've seen pictures of the Narrows before, but they don't do it justice. Like, this canyon is so deep. Like, that's probably over 1,000 feet to the top. It's pretty incredible. According to the watch, we are 4 miles in. Hasn't really felt like 4 miles. Also, the lady at the information desk told us we would have to swim around mile 2. And I don't think that happened, so now I'm just confused. Alright, we're taking a little donut break. My watch says we're at 5 miles. I don't think we're quite that far. The lady at the desk said we'd only make it 2 miles before we had to turn around. We've definitely gone more than 2 miles. We might turn around here. We're about half a mile from Big Spring, which is like the official turnaround spot. I think it's about 5 miles in. But it's about 1:30, so we're probably already going to be hiking into our campsite in the dark, and we don't really want to do that, so we'll probably turn around now so we can give ourselves a little extra time to get to our campsite. But it's incredible. We came around a corner and it was just like no people for the last like 1.5 miles, 2 miles of our hike. We just haven't seen a single person. We passed maybe like 1 or 2 groups, but it went from being like in a national park on during spring break to pretty much nothing. And these last 2 miles have been probably the most scenic, so everybody just turns around before the good part, I guess. But the river did get a little bit rougher, so I guess I can understand. There were a lot of kids, so just being careful. But yeah, we'll probably head back now. I think this has been a top 3 hike of all time for me. This is incredible. So, cool. Let's get going. All right, that was awesome. Just made it back from the Narrows, back in the car, headed to the trailhead for our little backpacking trip. The Narrows took way longer than we were expecting. It's 5 o'clock now, and it gets dark at 8, and we have about 6 or 7 miles to get into our campground. And first we have to drive there. It's about an hour drive to the trailhead. So we're gonna be hiking in the dark, but that's okay. I don't mind that. Now the Narrows was awesome. It was super crowded at the beginning, which it's a national park and it's March, so a lot of people are having their spring break, so that's what you can expect. I wasn't surprised. It was a little bit frustrating though, because it was kind of slow and you're kind of falling behind people and having to squeeze around everybody, which I don't know. I'm a little bit of a hater when it comes to crowds, but it's like I said, it's national park, so there's going to be crowds pretty much always, but that's okay. Scenery, 10 out of 10. It was stunning. Like, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was like crazy unique. I loved it. The experience was also super unique, just like hiking in the river for the whole time. That was really cool. About 2 miles in, we passed there's a little creek that flows into the main river, and once we passed that, that's where like 95% of people turned around, And we hiked another mile or two past that, and that was super cool. The canyon got super narrow. The water got a little bit deeper, a little bit harder to hike in, which is why most people turned around. But it was crazy. It's like you're hiking in this little crack with you could see the sky like 1,000 feet above you. It was incredible. Now making our way up to the north end of the park over to Kolob Canyon is where we're going to be starting our backpacking. It's going to be a little bit colder, higher elevation, but I'm excited. It should be a good evening. All right, we're at the trailhead. We've got about an hour and a half before dark and a little less than 6.5 miles to go. So this view is crazy though. Look at that. Well, good morning. We hiked in the dark last night, so we couldn't even see our campsite, and we had no idea that we hiked down into this canyon. And look at this. This is beautiful. Like, I knew that this cliff face was here because we were kind of following that the whole time, but it was so dark we couldn't even see the outline of this. I had no idea that we were in this canyon. But didn't get too cold last night. It's above freezing, which is nice. We got a little waterfall down here. Some nice white noise. Slept for like almost 10 hours. I was exhausted after waking up at 4 a.m. driving for 4 hours, and we hiked probably close to 16 miles yesterday total, but well worth it. Also, today's my birthday. Turned 23. That's a great place to turn 23. Well, probably just gonna make some breakfast, pack up camp, and head on out of here. thanks for watching this video. I will be posting this on YouTube because I did reach my lofty goal of 5 whole likes on my last one. So make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're from Utah, comment any suggestions you have for more hikes or anything I can do. I've lived in Utah for a lot of years, but I have barely even scratched the surface of everything there is to do here. So I am open to suggestions. But other than that, I'll catch you guys next time.